Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about who versus whom. So just before we get started, I just wanted to preface this by saying who versus whom it's an important topic, but is not that prevalent on the SAT grammar section. So that means there are rarely questions where you'll see who versus whom, and at the most there'll be one. Regardless, you still have to learn the topic just in case that single question comes up. But if you don't understand it completely, don't stress too much over it because there will only be one question. So that being said, let's get started. So I'm just going to go over logistically what's the difference between whom versus who. But I personally do not use this strategy. I use a different shortcut that is much easier to understand. So just the general strategy is whom. You use it after a preposition, which is like a word that tells you the location of something. So like to, for, of, words along those lines. And who, you'll use it any other time. So I really quickly just went over this because this strategy doesn't really work for me. I use a different one that I think is much easier to understand. And that is to turn the sentence into a question. So if you answer the question with he/she, the answer will be who, and if you answer with him/her, the answer will be whom. So this may not make any sense, but when we see a sample question, it may make more sense. So this is the sample question. He saw the faces of those who/whom he loved at his birthday celebration. So now just turn this into a question. Who did you see? Like he saw the faces, or like which faces did he see, or whose face did he see? You can really ask any question, but the most generic one would be who did you see, or who did he see? And you would answer with he saw him, or he saw her. So if we go back to our first one, him/her corresponds with whom. So the correct answer in this case would be whom. And that's just how simple it is. So now let's just do another example. This is one that you may see on the SAT. So, many people are familiar with the story of how Pilgrim settlers met a Patuxet tribe member named Squanto, whom befriended them, taught them to survive in their new wilderness home, showed them how to plant crops, and acted as an interpreter between the Wampanoag tribe and its chief, Massasoit. So pause this video, try to turn this into a question and replay when you are ready. All right, so let's try to tackle this question. So I read the sentence before this, but we have to try to figure out what goes here. So Squanto, whom befriended them? So let's turn this into a sentence and try to see if whom is the right word or if who is the right word. Let's just ask the question, who befriended them? Or who befriended you? And you would answer, he befriended me, or she befriended me. So let's just go back. If you answer with he/she, you have to use the word who. And it's just as simple as that. We turned the sentence into a question and we got the answer. So we know it's not whom and we know it is who. So just so I'm not skipping some topics, I'll just go over why B and C are wrong. Or just so you're not confused, just in case you chose B or just in case you chose C, I'll tell you why it's wrong. So Pilgrim settlers met a Patuxet tribe member named Squanto, which befriended them. So when you use the word which, you are implying that there is an object or a plant, an animal, something that's not a person. You use which when there isn't a person. So if Squanto wasn't a person, you would use which. The example could be like, I went to the grocery store, which was packed with people. the grocery store isn't a person, so you would use which. Now, because Squanto is a person, you have to use either whom or you have to use whom right afterwards. So that's why B is not correct. And the next one, met a Pawtuxet tribe member named Squanto and befriending them. Taught them to survive in the new wilderness, show them plant crops. So this doesn't make sense because if you watched my video for parallelism, which if you haven't watched, you should check it out now. This doesn't follow the same structure as the rest of the items in the list. Like they each have like a verb that is in the past tense, and this verb is in the ing tense, so that doesn't make sense. And in addition, and wouldn't be, and just doesn't sound right because you're not comparing two things. Or you're not, and is used when you have two complete sentences on two sides, and there aren't two complete sentences on both sides, so you can't use and. But if that is confusing for you, just remember this doesn't follow parallel structure. So hopefully this video helped, and I hope you understand the difference between whom and who.